Let's do the live stream, because this is what we do. We take a photo, we flip it around. Yeah, let's pin that comment, and we are live.
Can't pin the comment.
We are trying to pin the comment, and it won't let us because people keep joining to watch. It keeps moving it away.
Very glad.
That is not the person that we are doing this live stream with. Please don't request to live stream with us unless you're the person that we're actually doing the live stream with tonight. Here we go, and let's invite. And hello,
hey guys,
welcome to our nightly live stream. Stay at home and Disney.
All right,
There's
Michael. Here I am. Where are you?
We are in our living room.
Disneyland bunker.
We have our Disney reference library behind us.
Yes.
And for those of you just joining us, this is our friend Michael Giacchino, who is sitting in to talk about Peter Pan, a movie that we all love this evening. If you haven't joined our live stream previously, we have been live streaming since I started my lockdown, pretty much like since the day that Disneyland closed. Every night, we've hopped on and talked for an hour or longer.
You cried for one day.
I cried for one day, and then I said,
a day of mourning, and then
you move on and start live streaming.
Yes.
So we initially were just talking about Disney, but now we've been doing an ongoing screening series where we encourage everyone at home to watch whatever Disney movie we're going to talk about and then pop on and join us. And we've had a few friends do live draws and a few people guesting. And tonight we've got Michael.
Yeah. Yep. And no one else. That's just me.
How
does this work? Do people get angry if you go off topic, or does it, like, what happens? How does this?
No, I mean, we sort of try to talk about Peter Pan most of the time, but
the stream we tend to fill with like one movie, and then everything else is us babbling about Disney and yeah.
Well, I have this.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Wow.
This is the original score to Peter Pan with all of the original handwritten.
That's
fantastic. So cool.
Treasures.
I absolutely adore this score, and I love that they play like a lot of the best parts of it in the queue for Peter Pan's flight at Disneyland.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Yeah. I actually have a story about that music if you want to hear it. I don't know.
Yes, sure. Always, I love your stories.
Yeah, no, we were recording Up. And what I like to do usually at our sessions after we're done, if we get done early, I like to have like a cue prepared to just play for fun, you know, something that we'd want to hear. So I had asked for the original overture to Peter Pan because I just wanted to hear that, you know, with a real orchestra live as it was orchestrated for back then, not like reorchestrated for now.
Oh.
Yeah. So they went down into the archives, pulled everything out. We handed it out to the orchestra on our last day of recording for Up, and asked them, you know, we just want to do this for fun, and you know, are you up for this? Since you know, and everyone was like, yeah, let's do it. So it was about, you know, whatever, a 70-piece orchestra, and so everyone, all the parts went out and everything, and then we played it, and it was the most amazing experience ever. It was fantastic. Because
so cool.
It was like, you know, that moment when Frankenstein, you know, comes to life. I mean, when Frankenstein's monster comes to life and Frankenstein's like, it's alive, you know, he's screaming. That's what it was like, because it felt just like the original thing, except bigger, and it just enveloped you in a really amazing way. So that was me, Pete Docter, and Jonas Rivera were out on the stage, you know, in front of the orchestra when this happened. We just wanted to just be right in front of it. God, I should have looked up pictures for that, but maybe I might have something. I don't know. I'll look while we're doing this.
Are you in your studio right now?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, do you have drinks on hand? Because we were going to do a shot of, I have no idea what Neil pulled.
I have drinks. Yes.
We usually start this thing with a drink. Or not start, but it contains drinks.
Not a problem.
Yeah, we had somebody note earlier that this is our most popular live stream yet. Oh, there you go. Nice.
Ooh.
So there's a little advertisement for you, Angel's Envy. Bourbon. Yes. Well, that's good. How many people are watching? How can you tell?
We've got 58 people currently viewing.
All right.
Yeah.
58 people. Hey, you 58 people, tell your friends you're doing this. Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's do a shot
Well,
this time. Or a
I'm
sip.
not doing this whole
Or-
shot.
Yeah,
or-
no, you sip that.
Let us begin.
All right.
The Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. And Oliver Wallace, who wrote all that music for Peter Pan. Oliver
Yes.
Wallace,
Such a gorgeous.
you know, it was just an amazing guy, but he was fantastic. So anyway, so when that was over, I went and asked them if I could get the entire score. So I got the entire score and I had it bound, and it's in the office. It's 3 volumes. It's 3 of these books.
I love
my
your
God.
library over
I
there.
mean, this thing is
Yeah.
huge.
That's beefy.
I always lose my mind looking through. Even like just the part that's just your scores is like massive.
Yeah, we can walk over there later if you want.
Yeah, maybe we can take a look
I'm
at
sure
this stuff.
people would love to see that.
Trying to think it's a little
Yeah.
dark.
I know I geek out
So
every
it might
time
be a
I
little
go to the
dark,
studio.
but we'll try.
This man has like the coolest studio space. Like you
I know.
can
We can't share all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of
we'll
it,
do
yeah.
that stuff over there out of mine, and some of my toys in the back. You know, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean, your
But-
toys are fun. I mean, a few people commented today, like, were astounded that we were friends, and I'm just over here, like, I mean, yeah, obviously the big gap there is, like, how did we meet? But beyond that, our friendship is not surprising at all. We love, like, the same stuff.
Yeah. It's all, you know, this is all the same. It's all geeks are geeks. It's all good.
Exactly.
Right?
I think
Yeah,
for me,
exactly.
it was when you pulled out all of your collection of your trading cards
Oh,
from, like,
Jesus.
the 70s and 80s that I was like, oh, yeah, we're the same people.
Yeah. I have them all still in order, everything. I have that original blue series Star Wars one that I got from the store, you know, going every once in a while and getting cards.
Mhm.
I have that. I have every single episode and all the series they did. I have every single one from all the Star Wars. And when I say all the Star Wars, I mean Star
original
Wars,
trilogy.
Empire, Jedi.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't understand, but so I have all of those, and I have all of King Kong. I have all of the Superman series. It's just like whatever series they put out movie wise, I have it. Close Encounters, all of those things.
You have Jurassic Park, which I was sitting there going like,
I have
I was a
Jurassic
kid
Park.
when these were coming out. I know you weren't. Like,
Yeah, I was still getting them. I got Jurassic Park. I have all the Raiders cars, but they're all in bound in this book like a baseball card book would be, you know.
So have
Yeah,
you been watching
I
any
love
of
that
those
stuff.
movies like for comfort food through the quarantine?
I haven't actually. I've been working on music for some movies I have for next year. I've been just sort of like, I was like, well, I had nothing else to do. I might as well write some music for the films that
Yeah.
are coming up and get
Yeah.
a head start on it. So I started working on Jurassic World, you know, and started with that one. This other thing I can't say what it is. Another thing I can't say what it is. But yeah, I'm just starting to get into all of that and just trying to make life easier for me once we get back to normal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
doing that and cleaning everything has been.
We're doing the exact same thing.
It's all about cleaning and trying to think. Yeah,
We've been
organizing.
reorganizing.
I
our
have thrown
entire
out
studio.
so much shit this week.
Oh,
It's
same.
been
Uh-huh.
amazing.
I took we've got, you know, the studio space and the sewing room, and I basically took it, gutted them both, and just
Yeah.
kind of started all over and threw out so much stuff.
Someone in the comments.
It's
was
very
asking-
therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's
And it
good.
really feels good doing it. And, you know, why not?
Our trash was like overflowing this week.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, or the last 2 pickups.
Oh, yeah. There's that.
Now, someone was just asking if you're living on Dharma Initiative rations.
Yes, and I may have to step away for a few minutes every so often. I have to go and push this button and enter some code. So if that happens, I apologize.
When this all started, I texted Michael and I was like, is there an app that I can like get that will just do that every 108 minutes? I'll have to go type in the numbers.
Press a button.
I would be shocked if there wasn't. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I haven't looked like in sincerity, but I would totally do that.
I want to build that clock. That's one of the things I want to build.
It hurts me that ThinkGeek did that as an April Fool's joke like 10
Yeah,
years ago
I know.
and never
Never.
manufactured it.
I know everyone would have bought it.
I would still be using it regularly.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I know. I
We did
wish.
start rewatching Lost this
But
week.
no one made it. Oh, you did, Larry. Let me tell you something. When I'm just moving this up so I can get it to the keyboard when I need to. you shouldn't be watching Lost. I'm sorry, Lost, but because here's the deal: during this kind of sort of a stressful period, this is something that my girlfriend learned in getting better from what she was dealing with. But we learned a lot about how the mind works and all of this. And one of the things that is really interesting is like any sort of stress you put in, even if it's entertainment stress, it triggers the same body response that you would have if it were real stress. So really what you're doing is doubling up on the amount of stress you have. The more stress you have, the worse your immune system functions.
That's definitely impacted my willingness to watch Westworld this week.
Yeah. So just remember that. It's important. Brain health.
We definitely also have been doing that, but then like offsetting it by watching Peter Pan or by watching a lot of really fun, happy movies we've
literally watched at least a dozen Disney movies already. But Lost is something that everyone in our household has seen. So we figured we've all seen it before. It's not stressful in that way because we do know how it ends.
Right.
Like we're all like, this is a good time to rewatch it. But yeah, it's definitely not a show that I'd be like, yeah, you should watch Lost for the first time in quarantine. It's great.
I know. I was telling my son that because he's at his girlfriend's, and I was like, stop watching that. It's not good for you right now. Just you know, so put on a Disney movie.
We were talking about screening Parasite for a friend who's staying with us. Yeah,
don't get me wrong, because I love that movie so much.
It's so good.
I love it. I was so excited for that to win so much. Although I will say that I really would love to have seen a little more love for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I just thought that was honestly one of my favorite movies, and I've seen it like 4 times now. I could watch it probably 100 more. We
watched a screener of that, and I was not prepared.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I didn't want to go to sleep that night. I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Yep.
Parasite 2 kind of messed me up, but I love Jojo Rabbit. That was my favorite.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. That's not without its stressful moments either, but
no, but it's also filled with like so many bright moments and funny moments, and it's so my sense of humor. Like,
isn't he wonderful? That the boy Roman.
He's brilliant.
Roman Griffiths is just like he's awesome. Love that kid.
Yeah, I loved the photo that you posted from the red carpet.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Yeah. We had a great time on this whole weird awards circuit that happens every once in a while when you get on something like this. You have to end up at a lot of these same events and this and that, and it's crazy doing all of this stuff. But
wise, we're lucky the Oscars happened.
But it was fun to do. Well, yeah, but it was fun to do with him. You know, go and do that all with him.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oscars, yeah. As far as the Oscars, yeah, I know we are kind of lucky. Huh? Imagine if it were like this month or something.
Oh, I know. Like
it used to be years ago. It was actually much later much later than they do now. But but that was because there weren't so many award shows at that time.
Yeah.
Now they're everywhere. Everyone's giving away awards. You guys should give away awards.
You should do an award.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
You should
I'll do like a Disney award where I award people for being like deeply committed to Disney life.
There you go. Whatever. Who you look at all your people that you interact with all through the year and give them a nice something. Make them a nice hat or something. I don't know.
Ooh, hat.
Yeah.
Or mugs. We do mugs.
Oh, that's
also,
true.
why are we not
you do great
mugs right now?
I don't know. Well, the one.
Oh yeah, you grabbed a bunch of those Star Wars ones as a gift for a friend.
Yeah, I sent them all up to my friend Kevin. Yep.
Yeah.
No, he loves them.
I'm trying to convince Neil to do some more from the Disney side of that series while we're in quarantine, because I personally just really want a Sleeping Beauty one.
Yeah, you could do it. What would be your idea for that? Would you do that in the what kind of style?
We would
same
be
as the others,
the Starbucks parody style.
Yeah, so it'd be in that same vein, but
it would have like King Stephen's Castle and Maleficent's Tower, and also the Woodsman's Cottage.
Or, and I'm just saying, or you could do a very different thing for this series because it is its own real thing, and do sort of like Mary Blair style for each film.
Oh, I would die.
On the coffee
so much work for you, but I would cry all over it.
No, I don't think it would be that much more work to do Mary Blair style versus like the way I do it, just because it's digital. Like if I had to do it, with actual paint and all that, it would take a lot longer. But
now, for anyone watching, if you're not familiar with Mary Blair's work, Mary Blair did all of the color design work and a lot of the concept art for many 1940s through like 1960s Disney films. She also is basically responsible for the aesthetic of Small World and very influential on the color palette of the 1960s.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she killed it. She was amazing.
And she did Peter Pan. She did the concept for Peter Pan.
She was the best.
They're gorgeous.
I know. I'm trying to find. I have to find that recording. Let's see. Hold on.
So while he's looking that up, I'm gonna pose to the chat room because we like to do a little bit of Disney trivia in here. We'll pose it to the chat room, and then
Michael can answer it if nobody gets it.
Yeah. This is a true or false question, so let's start off nice and easy. Peter Pan's Flight, the ride, is featured in every Fantasyland around the world. True or false?
I actually had to do some research. Well, we're asking everyone.
We're asking the room, and then we'll see.
But so while you get your thing,
can you read that question again? Read the question again.
So, true or false? Peter Pan's Flight is featured in every Fantasyland around the world. And what we'll do, you can answer. We just won't reveal the
That's true,
answer.
Yeah. Since you
want to answer, sure, and we got a lot of people. We got a lot of people saying true.
And if you answer, tell us your thinking.
Well, the one thing about that attraction is that the line is always long. There's never not a long time. So that would make me think maybe it is. It would be. But then I'm thinking, you're saying every single one around the world?
So every version of Fantasyland.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about like Hollywood Studios or Epcot.
Right. Every version of I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go with yes on this one.
We just had one person say the correct answer, which is, I don't know if it's in Hong Kong.
It is false. It is not in Hong Kong Disneyland.
And while I was researching this, because
by the way, I was there. No, I didn't go to that one. Nope, different one. Sorry.
So Hong Kong has almost no dark rides in all of Fantasyland. They literally only have the Winnie the Pooh ride.
When did that
open? They have Winnie the Pooh and PhilharMagic.
When did that open?
Like 2004, 6, something like that.
Yeah, 2004, 2005, something like that.
Yeah, right around there. Early, mid 2000s.
All right.
Neil will look it up. Now, Shanghai has a Peter Pan's Flight, and it made both of us like cry. We were like stone cold sober on this ride. Like you can barely even drink in Shanghai Disneyland. It's not that kind of park.
Haha, 2005.
2005.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're on that ride, and I'm like, we didn't use our phones or anything. We just were like, let's just ride it. And I'm like struggling not to just sob hysterically because their version of Peter Pan's Flight is like if you took the Disneyland one and then fixed all the little awkwardnesses of it, and just took it further in every possible way. That's the ride that they have in Shanghai.
It's beautiful.
I was a wreck.
Well, they have made some nice improvements to this one. I thought some tasteful things they added to this. I thought they did a nice job.
Yeah, they definitely like set the bar high for how they were going to do these modern day refurbishments.
I will tell you though, I would still like to see individual lights for all of those yellow spots on the ground that are representing the lights of the city. So that you could really almost give a little bit of a random flicker to it, so it feels like it's atmospheric.
Some are turning on and off, and everything randomly.
Very random, and you could give it a very nice atmospheric look from way above.
And it doesn't even need to be all of them. If you did 10% of them that'll randomly turn on and off, then it'll give that vibe of an actual living city, like they do with the little roads that move.
Yeah, Michael, if you want to keep doing this a few times a week, we can just reimagineer all of the parks together.
Yeah. Believe me, they're used to me doing this. This is what they're. That's probably like the nightmare when I get to work with them. I'm sure John Dennis, who I do a lot of work with over there, is always like, oh my God, I got to listen to him again. Now he's going to tell me how to remake this thing or what I should do with this thing.
We actually had a challenge the other night where we asked our audience to suggest attractions for us to reskin in the same way that like Guardians of the Galaxy, like the Collector's Tower has been, completely rejuvenated as a new attraction.
Yeah.
So we had people suggesting different things for that, and that was a lot of fun, and we could potentially do that, continue to do that.
If you can tell Imagineering that I really want a Frozen 2 attraction where Grizzly River is now, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Grizzly River. Well,
it's like
Grizzly River,
the only problem with that, though, is it's like that is, well, might fit in, I guess, if you do more of the foresty thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Original Frozen wouldn't work, but
Not
Frozen,
Frozen
2
Yeah.
absolutely
Magical Forest would totally work.
Like, they could reskin that entire area of
I
DC
suppose
if
you
they
could
wanted
do that.
to, without losing the trees. Because we always
Now,
know when we talk
The
about
one
that,
thing
it's like
that
it
would
has
really
to match the
upset me
hotel.
about doing that, though, is then that little general store would have to be turned into some Scandinavian shack.
That's true.
That's a bummer, because in that store, behind the counter, is a bunch of P.O. boxes, post office boxes in the wall. And on one of those post office box has my kids' 3 names. My 3 kids' names.
That's so cute.
That's awesome.
On there, and so they're at this whatever address that they put in there, but it has addressed to them, so it's up on the thing. So that's cool. So that would bum me out to lose that.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, they could. Basically, we're reskinning, right? Like, so that information could still be there, but just in a different way.
You know,
Instead
100%,
of PO boxes,
if they reskin that,
all right.
It
You
could
have
be
my
little
approval.
cubbies, right?
It would be Wonder
And then the
Woman's.
cubbies could say the names.
Yeah.
Fine, you have my approval.
All right.
You have my approval.
All right, we'll move forward with that then.
Great.
I guess.
Yeah, move forward with that. I want to start seeing designs sometime in mid next week.
All right.
Okay.
So let's talk some more about Peter Pan now that we've
Well, I
gone
found
through
this
our first
recording.
trivia question. Yes, let's hear it.
This is the one we recorded, just for fun. Now it's off a phone, so
Oh, it's so beautiful.
that's crazy.
Beautiful. Now, someone in the comments just had the same question I had, which is who's doing the choral parts?
Now that's the interesting part. So we only recorded we only played the orchestra part, and literally that is literally recorded just on my iPhone from when we did it. So because we weren't we told them we would just do it for our own personal purposes, and so then a friend of mine up at Pixar, Ralph Eggleston, he got me the original tracks of the vocal stuff, just the vocals isolated alone. So then my music editor took them and he married them and did that. So it's like crazy. So it was like a little archaeology project. We wanted to kind of deconstruct it, see how he did it, see how they orchestrated, because nobody today writes music like that. Nobody.
So can you make like that happen at the Hollywood Bowl so that I can go to it? Just like classic Disney scores.
I have been wanting to do Peter Pan live at the Bowl forever. Now,
I would love that.
The problem, look, here's the deal. Obviously, I love Peter Pan. This movie is like, mind-blowing. But it's got its problems in terms of in modernization. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's
we
really
were
not that.
watching today, and I looked at you and I said, "How many times do they say the word engine in this movie?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Too many."
Too many.
Well, and then when you're just saying like an entire song devoted to the idea of what makes the red man red, that's not really cool.
No.
That's pretty hardcore. racist shit. So
and we've talked
Yeah.
at length about Peter Pan and adapting it in modern ways and all of that, and how to manage that, because even if you like try to do the stage musical or the play, like you're gonna run into these issues. So we've actually spent a lot of time
you can totally modernize it. You can totally modernize it. And I think that it will be in the right way. Because aren't they making it now as a live action? I think someone
They're
got
doing
hired.
something.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
We'll
So
see what they do with it.
I am absolutely sure it's going to be taken care of
I hope
this
so.
time around. You know.
And that actually brings me to one of our other trivia questions. How many lines of dialogue does Tiger Lily have in this movie?
Oh my God.
And let us know in the comments if you know the answer.
Yeah, let's see. Who knows this? Nobody. One.
Got one guess of one.
Definitely not one. Unless, is it?
1 0 1. Not enough. 0 3 0. Yeah, the answer is in fact 0. She does not say a single word in this
Wow.
film. Yeah, she's just an aesthetic.
Holy cow.
Yeah. No, I think the intention was for her to be mysterious or something like that. I mean, does she have any dialogue in the play or the book? Like, I can't think of.
In the
I have no idea.
well, in the play, she
In the music, you're thinking
in the musical, yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine in the play, like she probably.
What about the real hero of this whole movie, though? Yeah, I mean, aside from its incredibly obvious shortcomings, there's a lot of beautiful work in the film.
Oh yeah.
Including the voice work of Hans Conried. Do you know the guy who did?
Yes.
Yes.
He's wonderful. Yeah. There was some of this, but if you were pointing out that she sort of tries to talk while gargling water while drowning, we didn't.
He's the best Captain Hook ever.
I would argue Cyril Richard. That is the only person that I would pit against him.
Wow. Not Dustin Hoffman.
I love Dustin Hoffman as Hook, but Cyril Richard, I think, brings that classic good form to it. I mean, obviously, Hook is an amazing movie, and I love Dustin Hoffman in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Hans. I think he has such a distinct voice. It's just the best. And by the way, the guy has been on everything. Just look him up. It's amazing. He's been in everything. Holy shit. Just goes on forever, the list.
Did he do a lot of TV as well? Because I know he did Broadway.
Yeah. He's done lots of movies.
Because I grew up listening to the musical score of Can Can, which he's one of the stars of.
Just tons of things and a lot of voice work and a lot of, I don't know, just anyway, the guy, and he looks awesome.
You don't think that your favorite is Christopher Walken?
It is not. No.
Wait, when was he? What did I miss?
The Mary Martin Peter Pan, like the musical, that version, they did it live, and he was Hook, and it was a mistake.
Oh.
It's really the only way to describe it.
That must have been amazing.
In the beginning of the first third of it, it felt like he was had just woken up, and he wasn't quite there yet. And then it's as if he went off stage and took some sort of medication, and he was doing all right for the second, the middle portion. And then we get to the end, and it's as if he took too much medication and suddenly kind of became wherever he was after a while.
We've all been there. We've all been there. But what's his name? Someone has a good point here. I thought Jason Isaacs made a badass Hook. And I believe that was the live action one that came out several years ago.
The one called Pan?
Pan, yeah. That's the one that I'm thinking of, yes.
That's where he's young Hook, right? And that with...
Yeah, he was good, actually, that guy. He did make a good...
I mean, we've been fortunate. I think it's very rare to see an adaptation of Peter Pan real life, and Hook was the weak point, you know? Usually they get him right to some extent.
Right.
I've always thought it's interesting how much they toned down Hook in the animated version, because he honestly might be too much and too scary if they hadn't made him a little slapstick.
Well,
someone's pointing out another really good information. Another bit of information. June Foray as Tiger Lily's mom, and I did forget about that, but that's a great one. And her voice has been everywhere. I mean, Jesus, on everything. She's a legend. What do I think about the Sherman Brothers? What do you think I think about the Sherman Brothers? I love the Sherman Brothers. Richard is a good friend of mine, good dear friend. And
when we played Disney Music Trivia together last July, you got the Mary Poppins like that.
Yes, like, no, please. It's like, I love them, and I love Richard especially. And I've had some amazing times with him sitting in the backyard, and we're all just playing music, and I have the ukuleles out, and he's singing Bare Necessities, and he's singing, or whatever. He's just all of it. So good.
Well, let him know I've been using One Little Spark as my hand washing anthem.
Yep. Sounds good. One Little Spark.
No one is surprised that I found the Figment song, but
yeah, he was. I'm trying to think what was that one? What did we keep? That I have recordings of somewhere too. Yeah. Actually, I might have them right here.
While you look for that, Neil, why don't we give another trivia question? Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah. All right. To oppose this to the room, and obviously to Michael too, in what neighborhood do the Darlings live?
It's very posh, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you spend a fair amount of time in London, so you might get it right just thinking about your neighborhoods.
Let's see.
I've
the
never
first
been.
person to answer got it.
You gotta let some more people.
And Elliot
guess.
says the rich one.
Yeah, there you go.
He's not wrong. But
So,
yes, the correct answer is Bloomsbury. They say it in the opening, the very opening narration of the film.
Huh.
Right before they show all those wonderful silhouettes of all of the characters to introduce them, which I think I've always thought is such a beautiful way of bringing the shadow element into this movie. I really am a sucker for the nursery portion of every version of Peter Pan.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just really love those sequences. Like, I love it in the musical when they do I'm Flying. I think that's such an incredible moment. I think it's because it's the introduction of magic.
Uh-huh.
So in a way, it's the most relatable part, because whether or not you've actually been to Neverland, you've probably sat at your window wishing to go there.
Right.
And we've all kind of had that experience.
This is true. I'm trying to find this thing. I don't know if it's worth finding, but whatever. Anyway, it's just us playing, a bunch of stuff, bunch of Small World and all his songs and things like that.
Maybe we can find that and do that another time.
Yeah. I should actually maybe prepare for that time.
Well, now that you know what this experience is like, because you kept texting me all week, like, what are we doing? I was like, we're basically just FaceTiming while people watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. So, okay. Oliver Wallace, fantastic. You want to go see the room over there?
Yeah, let's show off some of your stuff.
If
you guys are getting a rare behind-the-scenes peek into the studio.
It's a little dark. I don't have those lights on yet. Let's see, because these are the lights that I have in here right now.
Oh yes, mood lighting.
Yes, from the original Polynesian resort, by the way.
Oh, really?
Hey, you've got like original Disney hotel.
Michael.
Oh yeah, Michael walked away from his safe Wi-Fi spot.
Yeah. It's too dark. I need to shine a light. Oh wait, can I reverse this? And can I put on a? How do I add a flash?
You might not be able to turn on a flashlight, unfortunately. I
don't know, but this is all.
We can't see that they're
tell me which movie to pull out.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it earlier. Let's see Up.
Yeah.
Up. Okay. So let's pull this over into the light. And
Elliot's asking if he spotted an Enterprise on the shelf back there.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. All right, so let me just, ouch, put this here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to spin this around. So this is the score to up. So we could go, oh my God. Go to, what would this be? Let's see. Carl goes postal. Yeah.
Now, before we even started this stream, in my
Where's the
Instagram
married
comments
life?
and on Facebook, I had friends asking about your punny titles.
Oh,
to the
yeah.
tracks.
And we talked about it last night on the stream with our friend Jeremy.
Oh yeah, he was saying that he's obsessed with the funeral piece that you named Booneral.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Lost, yeah.
Well, it's always sad when one of our friends passes away on Lost. So anyway, this is Married Life. This is the one that I used on the stage when we were there working. Try to see if there's any. Yeah, so it has my marks in it and stuff.
That's so rad.
So,
wow.
You know. Oh, someone said sweet keyboard. Yeah, thank you. There's a gentleman on Etsy that makes them. They're pretty amazing.
Those keyboards are so sick.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Yeah, so anyway, you get the idea. Just a bunch of notes. I need to get better lighting. I actually have lights. I just haven't put them in yet over there. So,
our friend Katrina just commented that she walked down the aisle to the trumpet and tuba version of Married Life.
I was there. I saw it.
We were there.
Well, please post a video of that because I would love to hear that.
Yeah, if we're gonna send that either our way or post it and tag Michael on it.
One of my best friends is a tuba player.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I usually don't like to admit going around with tuba players, but
look, if their tuba is flaming, it's totally different.
it is fine. And he also works on The Simpsons, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about David Silverman.
Yeah, I gotta hit him up and see if he wants to do this.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he'd be down.
Well, I wasn't sure if he would want to do one about Monsters, Inc. because he directed it, or if we should just be like, pick something that you love and we'll yell about it because that's so much fun.
I'm sure it'll be like this. It'll end up all over the place.
I feel like he'd want to do Fantasia 2000 to talk about Rhapsody in Blue.
He might. He
Yeah.
might. But I think it'll go back into the history of animation, all kinds of things. You'll find it's going to be a wide ranging. Cast a wide net.
We're doing Waking Sleeping Beauty as part of our screening tour. I think that's on Monday, which is I'm really hoping people will watch Waking Sleeping Beauty if they haven't seen it before because it's such a moving documentary.
Yeah.
And it's so informative.
All right, I'm going to show you, since there's no lights over there.
Oh, we got that lag going. Oh, hello.
This is some shelves of stuff. All right. Are we back on?
Yep.
Anyway, just shelves of like memorabilia and things. Yeah. All right. So
cool. We got Bob. Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah. Well, these are all like this shelf is a bunch of things that like either directors or the filmmakers that I worked with or the producers gave me when we worked on those projects. So it's just some of it's just goofy things that came about. Like the Bob's Big Boy came from one crazy night at Bob's Big Boy. We were there really late. A long story. And we carried a donut from Bob's Big Boy around in the trunk of our car for about 3 years. Because it was like it was a sacred thing from that night. Anyway, it finally had to throw it out. But anyway, so there's
he finally threw it out this week doing quarantine cleaning.
Oh, now there's the Doctor Strange clapper for the movie. That's the
That's so cool.
Let's see. There we have a pair of Tony Stark glasses. Frank Thomas's Pinocchio.
Oh, wow.
That's the one he had on his desk when he was working.
That's insane. For those of you, if you're not familiar with Frank Thomas, he was one of Disney's 9 Old Men, the classic animators who really drove animation from like the late 40s to the late 60s.
Most of this is junk, but it's like,
yeah, but it's all stuff with extreme sentimental value,
Yeah. I don't know if you can show that necklace that you have in there that I love so much. That's not in that case. It's over on the other side.
Yeah, there's a lot of my old original Star Wars toys. Just you know, they're all beat up, but they're well loved and used. So it's all that kind of stuff. But the thing you're talking about, I think, is
this. Yep, that's the one.
Yep.
It doesn't work.
So useful right about
I was going to say, yeah.
But yeah, this is from the movie. This was the one they used in the movie. But you'd think it would work, but it just doesn't. So sad. Oh well. Let's see. This is from the Adventurers Club. Do you remember the Adventurers Club?
We never got to go.
In Florida?
Yeah.
I've been there a bunch of times. I used to work down there quite a bit, but that is from there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you can see the thing up here. That's. You know what it's from?
Is that an indie piece or a Tower of Terror piece?
No.
It looks like it could be either of those.
Some indie theme thing. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, nice.
But let's see. What is this? What do we? Michael, question.
You got at least one Kungaloosh.
Did studios let you title your work? Yes, the studios are definitely not the ones titling the things. That's us, and mainly I would say Steve Davis and Paul Applegren, my two music editors, who are really, really great. We have a little contest, whoever can come up with the best one, you know, and they usually win. I win once in a while, they usually win.
Okay, but at least you're sharing the credit.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. They deserve, you know, the lion's share of the credit for those things. Especially Steve Davis. He's the one who pioneered it back in the days.
Do you have any favorites of those titles?
I mean, there's so many of them, you know, and I can't remember all of them. It's more of like an immediate gratification when we record, and then it's over. But I think, you know, Steven did this one series of World's Worst. So there's, in every movie he works on, there's usually a world's worst, you know, whatever it is, world's worst beach blanket party, you know, or a world's worst beach party for Lost.
Oh my God.
The opening crash scene. You know, there's that. I love from Planet of the Apes, Paul Applegren came up with the Apes of Wrath. You know, so there's a lot of that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, it goes on forever. I have it all here, actually.
So there's actually a really great question that came up in the comments just now.
Yep.
If you could either score or have your hands in one classic Disney film, which would it be? I assume we're just talking then pre-Renaissance.
Now, and obviously that's kind of a tough question because it's very hard to sometimes separate those movies from their scores.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. Like, I think one of the best ones that is being done, and I'm not working on it, but I'm excited to see and hear it, is Mulan. I think that's one of the ones that translates best into a really great live action thing, because you can actually take it seriously. You can make it meaningful in a big way. I think that's a cool one. But,
a lot of the remakes are a slightly more serious take on whatever, you know, the original was. So yeah, I imagine you'd have a little bit of that freedom in that.
Yeah, and that one just is like the most in that direction of all of them. So I think that's cool. But one of the old classic ones, I don't know. I love Peter Pan, and I love 101 Dalmatians quite a bit, but I can't imagine doing anything near as good as the scores that are in each of those. 101 Dalmatians is by George Bruns, and then, of course, Oliver Wallace did Peter Pan. So those are the ones that I would love, but there's no way I would touch them, because there's no way I would ever do anything nearly as good as them. So
some big shoes to fill, for sure.
While we're asking difficult Disney questions, we've been collecting some of the questions people have asked us over the past 2 weeks, and we wanted to start having our friends who are co-hosting answer some of these.
Okay.
So for starters, who's your favorite Disney princess?
Oh, my favorite Disney princess. Well, I mean, is Mulan a princess?
She counts, yeah. Even though she's not a princess, she's in the franchise.
Yeah, Disney counts her as a princess.
She's part of one of those things. I mean, I would say someone like her, or certainly Jasmine.
Do you like them fierce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Jasmine's
those two are good runners
so.
up. I like, and especially Jasmine. There's like a great,
yeah,
it's a great character. Very, you know, it's a very strong, and she's great. Yeah. We'll go with that.
Right.
How about what is your favorite Disney animated feature?
Seems like we just touched on that a little.
Yeah, we touched on. Let's say we're here talking about Peter Pan. Other than Peter Pan, what is your next favorite?
Well, this is usually a controversial thing with friends of mine, but I say it because I really love the animation in it so much, is 101 Dalmatians. And the design, too, of it, I love. I'm just huge in the score. It's amazing.
I agree. I'm not the biggest 101 Dalmatians fan, but I can appreciate how incredibly beautiful the design of that movie. Yeah. I mean, it's next level.
I love the mood, like the color mood of that film.
And I love that opening sequence, like the credits into that opening sequence where Congo's looking at all the dogs.
Yeah.
It is so good. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
All right. Nice.
All right. Now, what is your favorite Disney song? And you can have 3 because it's okay.
Tough to decide.
Wait, this is one part. Wait. Come on, that's amazing. That's George Bruns, ladies and gentlemen.
David agrees with your selection of 101 Dalmatians, by the way.
Oh, great. Excellent. Well, good. I'm glad. All right, next question.
Okay, so what is your favorite Disney song? And then also, what is your least favorite Disney song?
Oh, man. Here's the thing. I don't like doing least favorite things. It's like I hate it when they say, when a site will put up a thing saying,
the 10 worst this.
10 worst this, or
we had a hard time picking ours too.
Ranking, whatever, James Bond from worst to best. It's like, fuck you, you know? It's like,
oh yeah.
Like
we were able to
it's total click.
What we skip a lot.
I hate when they do that. Anyway, so I'm not good. I won't
do
you don't
have to.
The worst thing, because that's mean. But my favorite Disney song, and it's the one they actually don't even own, which is When You Wish Upon a Star.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I love hearing it every time I walk through the castle in Disneyland.
It's so good. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I will say when we were answering the question about like least favorite song, it wasn't like this is
no,
a song
I know, not to be mean. I know. But it's just something I'm always hesitant to say that.
Oh, I feel
that's fair.
For me, I was like, I don't really like The Fox and the Hound, and there was the song from that movie was on a compilation that I had as a kid, so it always.
Who wrote those songs for that? I don't remember who wrote those.
I honestly don't know.
I don't recall.
It's like probably my least favorite Disney animated film that I've
get someone in the. Could someone look that up for us? See, when I do that, it makes people think there's a lot of people in this room.
I mean, there's. Oh, I thought you meant in this room.
No, I was like going this way. Hey, could someone look this up?
all your team of assistants.
Yes.
You're on it, and in the meantime, I will ask. Let's see, what are our other questions that we've been being asked? Oh, we had a fun conversation the other night about what moments in Disney movies traumatized us, or we were like deeply terrified of as children. Do you have one of those?
Let me think.
Because it's nice that like Disney doesn't shy away from those moments. It is an important part of growing up that you experience that safe fear.
Oh no! I think that, I think maybe Bambi is a big one, and also Pinocchio can get quite scary when the transformation and all of that got quite scary. But frankly, I love that. So and actually, best favorite Disney movie. I know I said 101 Dalmatians, but it might have to be Pinocchio. So
it's a tough thing to call, right?
Pinocchio is like
comments talking about how Snow White traumatized her for life. By the way.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, she was so scared of that movie.
Pinocchio is actually probably the better artistic choice in terms of everything, storytelling, all of it, probably. but for bang
In
for
some
bang,
ways.
frame for frame entertainment, 101 Dalmatians.
So I would say for each has its flaws. No movie is perfect. For Pinocchio, it has this tendency to lean on that early gag animation and sort of step away from the narrative briefly to just be like, and here's a pretty thing, or here's a series of gags, and then we'll kind of come back to the movie.
Yeah.
And then 101 Dalmatians has some parts that are, frankly, a little slow. I've watched a number of kids kind of lose their attention span during the Twilight Bark segment of the movie.
I love that part.
But when we were talking about this the other night, you actually pointed to that scene when they're escaping, when they're all dressed as Labradors.
Yeah, scene when they roll in the soot and they're trying to get away. Like, I think is a very intense, very
it's scary.
It's a scene that, like you were saying, maybe we shouldn't watch this in quarantine. It's stressing me out.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
So to answer your question, Buddy Baker was the composer.
Buddy did those. Okay, Buddy has done tons
of
of
the Hound.
Yeah, tons of Disney things. Yeah, so.
And then somebody in the comments was asking if maybe you like 101 Dalmatians because you sort of associate with Roger, who is also a musician.
Maybe. It could be. I wish I wrote that song he wrote. But,
right.
But I didn't.
Come on, Dalmatian Plantation?
I know. We'll have a Dalmatian plantation. That's a great one. I know. It's great. Yeah, I really wish that I wish I did that, but I didn't. So where is that? I have that here. Hold on. Oh God, I have to go back to the library.
One Dalmatians counting book as a kid. That was a lot of fun. You had to count all the dogs on each page.
I was going to say, depending on
did not count their stats.
how big the pages were, that's a lot of counting.
We'll have a Dalmatian plantation where our population can roam. In this new location, our whole aggregation will love our plantation home.
Anyway.
Well, your that one song that you got to write for Up is kind of on that same scale. Spirit of Adventure.
Oh yeah, God, I haven't heard that thing in 1,000 years.
That's actually on our friendship playlist that we've been building over the last 7 years.
Wow.
Because we dressed as Carl and Russell for EDC one year.
I'm trying to look. Do I even have I don't even know if I have that in my library. How do I not?
David is talking about how visually remarkable Pinocchio was in its day, and it still is. I mean, some of those multi-plane shots in that film are just remarkable.
I don't even have my library.
The city at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
is
gorgeous,
insane.
Yeah, no, it's the best. I love it. Yeah, I don't have Up in my. Oh well. I never listen to anything that I do, so it's like. Anyway,
I get that.
It's
I think most
okay.
people avoid their own work when they're not working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. So. So anyway, what else is new?
What else is new? We've really just been watching Disney movies nonstop in this house.
Cleaning the house and
day
drinking and having a grand old time.
There you go.
Trying to figure out how what's going on with Disney parks while all of this is happening. Whether it's going to set back all of the new things that were
opening. It's the best.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of the little wooden head music, like
and I think that's actually what it's called, wooden head music.
Yeah.
It's a whole genre of music that's just really underappreciated.
Yes. Head music. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, there's wooden head music, and then there's metal head music, and then there's empty head music, and all the different head musics.
Now we only have a few minutes before Instagram automatically terminates our live stream.
Is that how it goes? It only goes for an hour? Interesting.
Yeah, it goes for 1 hour.
No, we can try to restart, or we can say if you're having fun, we totally do this again.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
So then my next question is, what movies might you want to talk about if we are going to pick another thing for the lineup?
Well, do they have to be Disney movies?
We're focusing Disney and like Disney adjacent, where Kirk is going to come on and talk about Muppet
Like
Treasure Island.
Marvel stuff.
Yeah, if you want to do something that's on Disney Plus, like
we want to try to keep it to
fan.
Disney Plus, so that ideally everyone who is viewing can watch it before we come in and talk about it a bit.
Okay.
So
something I can mention, and then but let me. I have to
think about it.
No, I have to ask.
Okay.
Fair.
Yep. So.
Yeah,
All right.
we know those feels.
Yeah.
I was just having that conversation with an animator yesterday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, yeah. Let us know what you'd like to do. So pitch a few ideas our way. We'll figure it out.
We'll let you know what's
And
up.
This was a ton of fun.
And I expect to see those redesigns for the Grizzly Creek on my desk Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll get started.
Okay.
I mean, I have some pretty clear concepts on that. So.
How about this? I'll do some sketches, and next time you come on, we can show them and we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Project.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. We'll do our review live. Perfect.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Sounds
thank you
good.
for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
For
Always a
those
pleasure.
of you guys who don't know, this is That Princess Girl. I'm Skull Rock Studios, and I mean, pretty much everybody knows who this guy is.
And we encourage everyone watching to continue to stay safe, stay at home, wash your hands like a million times, Lysol everything. We go around every night, we get all of our light switches. Like, really commit to this.
Yeah,
I agree.
The more safe we are, the sooner this whole thing can be over. So,
yep.
Thank you guys for tuning in so much. Thank you, Michael, for joining us tonight. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. And everyone have a great night.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later, Michael.
Yeah.
And now.